All right. What are we grateful for this morning?
Being way too busy right now, having a contract that I have to put in by noon today.
Okay.
That was from a listing.
Okay.
Hi.
Hold on. Say hello, and then I'm going to focus on the call, okay? Okay. That's my 7.5-year-old. He found a pacifier. Okay. Back to the seriousness of our 8:30 call.
Yes.
Go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, summer's good. Apparently it's starting to take off like crazy. So got back from Rising Fawn yesterday around 10 o'clock at night and got home to a nice surprise of someone else from one of our land listings who wants to put an offer in on another property that I was showing him. So I'm working on that, having that to him by noon. I have my other buyer who we're going to go look at properties tomorrow, make a decision, put another offer in tomorrow. And my other land buyer is going to be putting in an offer by tomorrow. So
Holy moly.
Yeah.
Man.
And then I'm sitting Lake Lanier all day today until 8 o'clock tonight.
I wasn't familiar with Rising Fawn. I had to look it up yesterday.
Oh my gosh, the place is stunning. It's beautiful. And then of course I was so close to Tennessee and I've never been there. So I had to cross over and drive through the town and jumped out of the car and was screaming.
I looked
like
it
a
up. It
little
looked like it was closer to Alabama. Did I look at the wrong city?
No, you're close to both. You can see it sits on this ridge line. Like it's called Cloud something. I forget. And it overlooks all of Alabama to your left. And then Tennessee, Chattanooga to your right. It is amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Who else is grateful for something they want to share? We had a good turnout today. Thanks everyone for coming in this morning. Who else wants to share?
I did my first preview yesterday and it went really well. Shauna, thank you so much for the great advice that you gave me. Everything worked out well.
Yay, good.
Yeah. Only thing I think that his condo it's overpriced.
Yep.
By about $30,000.
Yep.
Okay, let's back up for a second, Evany. Give us a minute version of your story. How did you find this person? How did you create the urgency to meet right away? And what did you discover when you were there?
Okay, so I was calling for sale by owners, and he was very interested really quickly. His condo had been on the market since June 6th. So as soon as I picked up the phone, he let me know that day that he was meeting with a couple agents just to go over to, look at his property to see if he can pretty much move on it as soon as possible. So he asked me if I can come at 4 p.m., which wasn't a problem. I met him. I had my information. We started off by him showing me the amenities. After he showed me his amenities, we went to his house. I saw the house, was nice, but not for what he's listing it for based on the comps in the area.
Okay, you mean like the other sales in the actual building, right?
Exactly, yes.
Okay. Did you ask for his motivation?
Yes, he said that his girlfriend actually just moved in with him that day, and it's too small. He said, we can't do it. It's only 800 square feet. And he wants to move to Midtown. He wants a 2-bedroom condo in Midtown as soon as possible, but he needs to get rid of this one in order for him to move to Midtown. I asked him if he had anybody interested in it, like what was the traffic like. He said the only person that he had was an investor and they wanted to give him $190,000 for it. And he said, I just didn't entertain that offer at all because it's Buckhead, and completely understand. But once I got home and looked at everything else, and he literally has about 5 other units the same size on the market right now, I don't think
Or
he's priced
less.
well. Yeah. So I did tell him that I would photograph it only because I think that's beneficial to me, like kind of to build my own, well, not only, but it's kind of building my own portfolio. But I just need him to see the difference of price in the area and things of that nature.
Okay, can I give you some feedback?
Yes.
Okay, just to summarize what she said. First of all, she picked up the phone and called for sale by owners. Second of all, she found what I have found to be pretty much almost perfectly accurate, which is somebody will try to sell their home for right around a month, and then it will not happen, and they will go hire a real estate agent. Okay, that the takeaway there is don't call only FSBOs that have been on the market 1 month. The takeaway is you never know what day they're going to crack. Okay, where they're like, I just cannot handle one more showing, or I just cannot handle one more agent calling me, or I just can't handle, somebody trying to lowball me or something like that. So that's why we have to have a consistent effort and a consistent plan to communicate with them every day. Right now, great job at getting the motivation. Great job. You did say one thing. I'm just going to pick apart your words for a second. Actually, his words. I don't care if it's in Buckhead. I don't care if it's in Sandy Springs. There's $100,000 condos in Sandy Springs. It doesn't matter if it's in Sandy Springs. That's not the way you run comps. The way you run comps is to look at what is selling that's similar in size, age, offerings, level of update, that kind of thing. So I don't care if it's in Buckhead or Beverly Hills. We're going to compare it against places that are available that they could choose instead of his. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he's got a little 1-bedroom place in Buckhead. So the question is if somebody's looking for a little 1-bedroom place in Buckhead, what else can they pick? What else can they choose from? Make sense?
Yes.
So now what we need to do is I would call him today.
Okay.
And this is what I would say to him. You got kind of 2 main messages I think that you want to communicate with him. Number 1 is he's starting to interview agents. So he's going to hear a lot of different pitches, right? So I think one thing that you can do to separate yourself is you can call him so he can hear your voice, hear the emotion in your voice, okay? And what I want you to communicate to him is that you've been racking your brain about how to get him and his girlfriend into a place in Midtown. And the biggest obstacle to him getting into a place in Midtown is his competition. And say, I just want to get you on Zoom for a second so I can show you something real fast, okay? So I think we've all discussed that having a Zoom account is like having internet right now. It's a must-have. Okay? Who's making all that noise?
Probably was me, Bill. Sorry, I was moving some paper.
That's okay. You didn't have to identify yourself.
Oh, sorry.
What you want to do is communicate to him that it's been affecting you, that he has a challenge that he's not been successful overcoming. Okay. And so what I want you to get on, I'm sorry, Zoom. If you don't have a Zoom account, please get a Zoom account. It's free. Okay. Please get a Zoom account and go and Zoom your cousin or your mother or your friend and learn how to share screens and figure it all, manage the room. This is a tool of the real estate community right now, and it's not going away. Okay. Many of your presentations will be on Zoom most likely in the near future. So I'd get this guy on Zoom and I would pull up the competition that he has and say, look, Mark, whatever his name is, what I find is when I help a seller see the market through the eyes of a buyer, then it gives them clarity on how to be successful. So I just want to show you a couple things. Okay, here's a 1-bedroom or whatever it is in the building that's on the market for $215. It's been on the market for 3 weeks. They started at $230, then they went to $225. Now they're at $215. They've been there for 2 weeks unsuccessfully. Let's look at how it compares to your property. Boom, 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 boom. Next home. Go through them together. And don't tell him what you want him to hear. Ask him and lead him to his own conclusions, which is, what are you seeing here? If you're looking at this task, this project through the eyes of a purchaser, what are you noticing? Under what circumstances would you be curious about your property? And under what circumstances would you be curious about these properties? And as of today, which one would you prefer? Which one would you pursue? Right? Your main issue, number one, is you don't have the exposure. Number two, even if you did, you don't seem to be the most attractive option on the market. That's what I want to help you with. That's what I want to help you with. Okay. So that's a much more personalized, focused, clear way of communicating with your prospect. I also want you to ask them a very, very direct question. What's his name?
Paul.
Paul, I really, really want to help you and your fiance with this project. So what would you like? What is the most important thing you're looking for in a real estate agent? How do I win with you? Is there anything in particular that you can share with me about your experiences working with either real estate agents or other service providers in the past that's bothered you? Because I want to make sure I don't do that. And my goal is to help you get with your fiance to Midtown so you can have more space as soon as you possibly can.
So another thing that he said, and he told me he was
Ask for the
like,
business is what I'm saying. Go ahead.
he told me, he said that he never signs with agents. He said, if you sell it, you know, that's fine. I have no problem with buying it. He's originally from Alabama. So he said, I just moved here not too long ago.
Yeah.
And
How's that plan working for him?
clearly it's not.
Okay. He needs to be told that.
Okay.
Say, so what I think I'm hearing is you're willing to pay a professional to negotiate against you. Did I hear that correctly? Right? Create some doubt around that. And you'd be like, yeah. And you say, well, here's the thing. Now that I know the home is available, that's fantastic. And if and when I have a purchaser, I'll certainly keep that in mind. I appreciate you being willing to pay an agent. What else can I do to help you? Because that strategy hasn't worked thus far, right? What he's basically looking for is evidence that his system is working, which is essentially, I'll put the home out there myself and I'll get the real estate agents to come and bring me a buyer. What he needs to be told or reminded of, or it needs to become clear to him that that's not working. It's not working, or he would have already sold the home. Okay. So he's got a better shot at it working by hiring a hardworking, serious professional who's going to market the hell out of that place. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ask him those direct questions. What would have to happen for us to start working together today? I'm ready to start helping you. Probably no, but that's really assertive. Please understand that. But in my opinion, it's polite. It's absolutely polite, but it's assertive. In my opinion, people might not be able to vocalize the fact that they want to work with an assertive agent, but I believe they all do. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay. Who else participated in the Bold 100 yesterday that wants to share an experience? By the way, Evany, high five, man. Awesome job.
Thank you.
Created urgency. You went out there. You probably felt a significant amount of stress and worry, among other things. And I'm just proud of you for getting on the phone, first of all. Second of all, taking the appointment, asking for it, creating that urgency. Fantastic job.
Thank you.
Okay, who else? Okay, let me go over some of the topics I had in mind. Okay, I'm going to share
Hey, Bill, can I ask Evany a quick question?
Yeah, absolutely.
When she first started talking, she said something about photographs for him. What was that about?
Oh, so I asked him if as a gift, if I can photograph his apartment for him and then advertise on different social media sites like Facebook and listing services to give him exposure.
What did he say?
He was so for it. He was like, sure, like, when can we do that? And I let him know that I would reach out to him today to confirm the date and the time that we would go ahead and set that up. He also allowed me to, I asked him if I can do the open house as well. Shauna, thank you. Like, I followed you completely. But I asked him if I can do an open house, and he was open to that. His AC was not working. They're getting it replaced, so we're going to wait to do the open house for about 2 weeks.
That's smart. 2 weeks?
He said that the contractor that they're working with, like, it's something that they have to get from South Carolina. And I asked, I know. I'm like, do you have to work with him? And he said that that's kind of the preferred one for everybody because unfortunately,
he needs some lessons on being assertive. That's insane.
I couldn't do it for 2 weeks. It was hot.
Oh,
right?
yeah. You wait till his girlfriend shows up.
And she just got there. Oh my God, that's horrible. It's so hot outside.
Okay. Remember,
just so you know, there is a form that he has to sign, something to do with showing unlisted property.
yeah, thank you for reminding me about that, Jan.
Thank
There is a
you.
GAR form called authorization to show unlisted property. I want you to go on to DocuSign and search for that, or FMLS and search for that.
Okay.
That is essentially permission for you to market an unlisted property, technically it's not really to market it. It's to show it and to be compensated when you work with that particular buyer. So I might just write a little sentence in there to discuss what you guys have agreed to, which is he gives you permission to market the home at a certain price for a certain amount of time.
Okay.
What might be, can I say something too?
Always.
Always. What I would do, Ebony, is do the net sheet maybe for him about like he might not understand when he pays you or how he pays you or something like that. And if you showed him a net sheet about how much he would net, and then give him that statistic about, you know, that a for sale by owner versus using an agent nets more money in the long run.
Yeah, he's going to be in for a little unpleasant surprise because not only was he not planning on paying an agent, but he's also not going to get what he expected for the home.
I mean, I think you got a good opportunity there, and that's a good way to get into that building and that condo and everything.
That's right.
And like you could tell him, you could say, the reason I'm so assertive is this is how it would be with other people that were looking to buy your place. I would go after them like I'm, you know, pursuing you.
Good. I like that line. Good line, Jenny. Very good. Very good. You also may want to ask him some questions about his desires in Midtown, right? What's special about a 2-bedroom? Which street do you want to live on? What do you want a gym in the community that you're looking for? Does it need to be gated? Do you want to be on a high floor? Do you want a newer building or an older building? What's your budget? Let's check with Kathy to make sure that's affordable. Let's see what can happen before you buy or before you sell or after you sell. Do you have to sell before you buy, right? Again, the more questions you ask, it's just simply going to communicate 2 primary things. Number 1 is your professionalism and your preparedness. And number 2, your genuine interest in helping.
Okay.
He might not understand the process.
He almost certainly does not.
I think that if you explained it to him, he would be, you know, more open to it. Like he might think he has to pay you in the beginning or something.
Okay. And I did let him know. He
Really
didn't know the numbers. I told him the numbers of the condos. I'm like, look, the condos are moving off the market, you know, and this is now that I'm thinking, we need to see why yours isn't, because it's not the fact that they're not moving. Yours just isn't moving.
Right. And so you might show him one that's superior to his that's lower in price and say, Paul, here is a property that's got, you know, granite and it's a higher floor than yours and it's got more hardwood floors and it's available for $215 when yours is available for $235. I have a simple question for you. Which one would you buy?
Okay.
Which one would you buy? And they'll say, I would buy that one. You say, well, what do we need to do together to make certain that the buyer chooses your home?
Okay.
Right. Okay. Great job, everyone. Great job. All right. I want to, let me share a screen with you guys really fast. I'm going to I want to remind you about a class that I'm going to be putting on at the Market Center. It was in the newsletter yesterday. And it is going to be, you guys can you see it? There we go. Okay. I should have done this on the other computer, but can you see? Okay, there we go. Can you see the thing that says business plan?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
See
can
that?
see.
Okay. So on Monday from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock, 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock, I'm going to be running a seminar. It's actually going to be open to the whole Market Center. It's going to be part of a program that we're now doing called 10 to Win. 10 to Win is, I think it's going to be taught about every month to month and a half or so. And the idea is it's kind of almost like a boot camp style intensive that is kind of working in tandem with Ignite. And it's going to go into a good bit more detail about contracts and technology and presentations and business planning and some of the models and these kind of things. So I was asked to teach the first session. And the first session, as you might expect, is going to be on the business plan. The business plan is really two main topics combined. One is the GPS and one is the 411. So I want to give you guys, oh, by the way, I think I told you I uploaded the MAPS models curriculum into the Google Drive yesterday, so please take a look at that. Here are a couple of the slides that are most applicable to you guys right now, I think. Okay, one is the business plan. And so this is the creation of the business plan, right? Yearly goals, monthly goals, top 5 business sources, your profit share goals. We're going to create a GPS together. Okay, this is a template for the GPS, right? The main goal, the 3 priorities that you'll need to set in order to achieve that one goal, and what are the 5 strategies for each of the priorities that you will execute on to make sure those goals and priorities get achieved. Here's a sample. This is saved on the Google Drive called High Level GPS. It was also included in the Sunday email. This is a person that wants to close 122 units. And they know that in order to do that, their first priority is to close 73 listing transactions. And this is the way they're going to do it. Okay. They're going to launch a 36 to convert to the entire database and a 19 to connect to leads. And Jamie is somebody on their team that's going to do that. For most of us, we're solo agents. So it's going to be you and the date that that task is going to get done, right? So we have clarity on what the task is, who's in charge of it, and when it gets done. And when that happens, we have a better likelihood of closing the units we want to close. So the first section up here is the sellers, the second section is the buyers, and the third section is customer care. This is just another version of the GPS that we've been talking forever about. I'm just giving you like a really quick cursory of what we're going to talk about on Monday. And I'll record it as well. And then the 411 breaks all those activities down into what you need to do on a weekly and monthly basis in order to keep that happening. Cool. So that's from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock this Monday. It is not going to be in this room though. It's going to, I think Melody sent out a different link. So it's in the newsletter and please click on that link. Obviously it's free. Okay. I want to just show you a couple of additional models that I think are really important for you guys to take a peek at. Again, the whole packet's been uploaded, and these are just some of the most important models that I want you to talk about. Today is the last day of the MAPS models class that I've been talking about, which is a really, really awesome opportunity. I want to show you one other thing too. This is called a growth plan. We're going to talk about this on Monday as well for a few minutes. This is a document that is, when creating your growth plan, include books to read, trainings, retreats, events to attend, people you'd like to meet, and ways that you're going to contribute to your personal and professional growth. So this basically says, like, what do I need to do each month to grow my skills or to learn
I
something?
love that. That's awesome.
So this is just it's a super, super simple tool. Okay. But each month, we're growing a business, and en route to growing a business, we're going to have to grow ourselves, right? We're going to have to learn new things, right? So what is your goal? What is your strategy for becoming a smarter and more efficient business owner in the month of July, right? What are you going to learn about? right? I think I probably have a better understanding than most people about the topic of money, but I've been watching a lot of videos on money, just kind of alternative ways of thinking about money and investing and insurance and leverage and loans and debt. And like I said, I have a pretty good understanding of how all that works, but nobody teaches you about money in school anymore, right? And what is being, I'm going to get on my soapbox for a second. What is being taught with the 401ks and blah, 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 blah. That's the way they want you to invest. And that may not be the most strategic way to do it, right? So I'm committed to learning about how to become as efficient as I possibly can so that I can provide for my family in the most efficient ways. It doesn't have to be money. It could be anything, right? Is there a topic that's always interested you, right? This is a way of saying, I'm committed to learning something new and being learning based every month. And how is that going to actually play out? Okay. Super simple tool. Okay. This is something that we discussed, I believe, on the very first day of launching the productivity coaching program, which was the 7 circles for living a balanced life. This is straight out of the One Thing book. Okay. What's the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else will be easier and necessary for my spiritual life, for my physical health, for my personal life, for my key relationships, for my job, for my business, for my finances, right? You're going to learn, learning about how to sling homes, that's like 10% of the stuff you're going to learn at Keller Williams. Okay. This is about becoming the best person you can become and having a life worth living that's simply funded by helping people buy and sell homes. Does that make sense? So as we understand that we're going to need a lot of energy to do all the things that we've got to do, we're going to need a lot of support from our peers and from our network, right? We're going to need clarity around how to manage the money that comes in and how to manage the money that leaves, right? So how can we improve these things? One of the recommendations that I made at the very beginning was, why don't you rate yourself from a scale of 0 to 10, okay, in the quality of your spiritual life according to you right now. I'm not saying that's, a mandate, but if you say, hey, I really wish that I had more time for meditation or to go to a church or to be involved in the community in some way or to contribute financially, right? So I'm a 4 today. I'm a 4 out of 10. So what could I do in the month of July that would make me a 5? How can I make just little improvements, right? Physical health. Do you work out once a month or once a week and maybe you really want to work out twice? Like, how can we make a little tiny improvement such that we're expanding in each of these circles? Okay. So I'm going to encourage you guys to pick one of these circles. You don't have to tell me what it is. You don't have to tell me what your current score is. But I want you to pick one of these circles and ask yourself, what's the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything will be easier or unnecessary for the month of July in this particular arena, okay? The more intentional we get about our activities and our behaviors and our habits, the more success we're going to have, okay? Luanda, that is, this particular document is within the MAPS models that I uploaded, and I believe it's also separated in another document called 7 Circles.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, I'll leave you with this one. This is another, this is probably one of my favorite graphics. This is also out of the One Thing, okay? You basically have to, yeah, ain't that the truth, Heather? There's really only 2 ways we can react to things. We can react with an accountability mindset or a victim mindset. And I tend to find that the vast majority of people, from whether it was the way they were raised or the way they were schooled or just their natural tendencies, tend to behave in more of a victim mindset than an accountability mindset. And that's why you see that the average person out there, they're not particularly financially stable. They, aren't living life to the, a level 10 life or anything like that. And what we find is the more accountable somebody is, the better everything is for them, right? So life is going to happen. That's right there in the middle. So what do we do about that? Let's go the bottom part first, right? You avoid reality. Let's just say COVID. Okay, COVID happened. So now we all got to go digitally based. We can't touch each other. We got to lock ourselves in our house. We can't go grocery shopping. We got to wear a mask and all this stuff, right? So do you avoid reality? Do you ask no questions? Do you say, well, I guess I can't do real estate till this COVID thing's clear? You're going to run out of money. You're going to have to do some real estate because this ain't going away anytime soon, right? Do you fight reality? Do you blame somebody? Do you have personal excuses for why you can't accomplish what other people can, right? And do you wait and hope that it will get better, right? If it was meant to be, if I was supposed to take a listing during COVID times, that seller will knock on my door and say, "Hey, is there a realtor that lives in this home? Because I need a home. I need somebody to help me sell my home." In the history of the world, that's never happened. Okay, never. That's a victim mindset. The alternative is the top part, to be accountable. So COVID happens. Okay, we seek reality. What's happening here? How is this going to impact my day-to-day operations? How is this going to impact the tools that I use, the speech that I give, right? How is this going to be, how do I need to make adjustments to my daily behaviors to deal with this new normal, right? They acknowledge reality. Hey, this is the way it is, okay? I'm going to have to figure out how to do an appointment over Zoom. Because if I don't, my competitor will, and they'll get the listing. Okay, they own it. Hey, if it's up to me, or if it's to be, it's up to me, right? They find a solution. What can I do, right? Oh, people don't want to do open houses during COVID. You're right. Some people don't. However, if you have the gloves and the booties and the hand sanitizer, and you only let one family in at once, and you have a partner there to make sure that none of the rules are violated, and everyone's wearing a mask and yada yada, then people are usually comfortable with it. So how can we find a solution here during this problem that no one expected that's going to cause us all to get what we want, right? And then they get on with it. They say, well, damn, the thing ain't going away. So what are we going to do, right? All of their mindset, their behavior, their commentary, their activities are rooted in accountability. When you guys see this, when you see this, what do you think? Angela, yes, that is true. It's in the one thing.
Okay.
What are some of your impressions when you see this, guys? Do you find yourself periodically becoming a victim?
Yes.
Absolutely.
And do you care to elaborate? Do you think that there's a different way to go about reacting to that?
Get out of the pity party.
Has that served you well over time? Has being a victim served you well over time?
No.
No,
Would you care to investigate an alternative?
absolutely.
Right. So when stuff happens in your day, right, and stuff will happen, I want you to have in mind, right, am I behaving like a victim here, or am I taking accountability? Am I just going to own this? Like, this is what it is. Like, the appraisal didn't come in high enough, or the lender has a delay, or the home inspector, got sick and had to postpone the inspection, or my buyer had to stay late at work. Okay, well, you know what? You can't control any of that crap. The question is what are you going to do about it? Right? Is that going to ruin your day? Are you just going to be pleasant? And, I had a woman that had a 4:30 appointment yesterday, and I took the appointment. I didn't really want to take the appointment because I was, crushing through the calls and all that. And all day long, I'm sitting there like, okay, I'm not going to hit 100. I'm not going to hit 100. I got this 4:30 appointment, blah, blah, blah. And I think I probably told the world that I didn't want that appointment. And she ended up canceling on me, or postponing, I should say. But when she did it, I was like, oh, good. I don't know why I said that. I don't know if that's accountable behavior or not. But it just happened and I moved along, right? I didn't sulk that she canceled the appointment. I was almost relieved in some degree.
No, I appreciate your frankness with that and truthfulness and sharing that, because I think sometimes we're hesitant in communicating that because we want to put up the good front. So it's nice to say, no, there are days where I'm just like, God, and so I appreciate you sharing that, because I know I have those days.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't think Pam's on this call right now, but I mean, literally there were days where I would be showing property many years ago at like 6 or 7 at night or whatever. And I'm like, God, I hope they don't like any of this. I really hope they don't want to write an offer.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Right? Because
Yeah.
it's like, oh my gosh, that's like another 3 hours of work. And
Yeah.
I don't want to do that right now.
I can't
Right?
wait to have that problem.
You will have that problem. You will. That's coming.
Yep.
Right? But like, is that the right mindset to have? I mean, it is what it is. We're all human. But what does that tell us? It tells us we need help. Right?
It's help. And then I think also to take a look back and say, where are you not balanced right now?
Yes. And where am I wasting time right now?
Yep.
Like, I wouldn't mind writing this offer if I hadn't fiddled around on Facebook for an hour. Okay?
Yeah.
Right? Or had I worked out today and I had more energy, then I wouldn't be fighting this.
Yeah.
If I eat better and I had more energy, I wouldn't be fighting this. Right? Or if I had, when I didn't have a moment of pressure and intensity and deadlines, I had written the offer because I knew my buyer one day was going to buy a home with a 10% commission loan and asked for the HOA docs and want a home warranty and all this crap. And I just wrote it up. And then the second they say, okay, write it up, I went in and I changed the sales price and the address. And 5 minutes later, I was done. Right? Then I wouldn't have had a bad attitude. Right.
I think I want people to hear that, because that's something Brooke told me immediately. And I'm like, why am I doing that? She's like, because eventually it's going to be done. It's not going to be this thing where at 11 o'clock at night, you're doing this. And it's the best advice. And I think it's something we all need to hear and do.
Okay. Summarize what I just said for me in your words.
Well, what I heard is, okay, so like I have PK and I know he's going to be putting an offer on something. So Brooke said, write it up, because you know he's going to do it. And then when he does, you're ready to pull it, and you just change out the address and update the terms and stuff, because you already have those things written out for you. It saves the time and the stress of doing that, so you can prioritize the rest of your day. And
that's right. The truth is it's being proactive, right? And in this like crazy kind of spiritual way, it's like telling the world you expect to do a transaction with this person.
Exactly.
Right? And I believe in some of that stuff, right? And that way, like, yeah, you want to write an offer? Cool. I'll have it over to you in 5 minutes.
Right.
And then I call the assistant. I say, okay, they're going to work with this lender, this amount of closing costs, this closing day. Here's the address. Send the comps this way. Have it ready for me on my computer screen when I come in. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It just saves so much time, y'all. Oh my gosh. So I want you to think about it as your day goes on and you have probably 50 to 100 to 200 different, quote, life happens events. Am I taking an accountability reaction to that? Or am I taking a victim reaction to that? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Beautiful. Congratulations, you guys, to everyone that participated in the Bold 100. And even if you left the room yet still made calls, I know there's a few of you out there. Congratulations to you as well. Don't hesitate to post your stats out there so others can get encouraged with your activities. And it is the end of the month, or it was 2 days ago, and I have to do all my reporting to my coach today. So will you please take one moment and update all of your numbers for the month of June for all of those weeks, actuals and the goals if you're behind. My coach will be all over me later on today if I don't have all that updated. So just do me a huge favor, okay? One thing I also want to recognize is I just want to thank everyone in the room for their support of each other. a huge value of this community, in my opinion, is just kind of an open forum where agents can help each other with even the little stuff like, hey, where do I find this document? Or, hey, high five on the listing appointment or whatever. And I don't know if any of us can overestimate the importance of that. Okay. We all need some support. And so I want to thank each of you for providing that both in this room and in the WhatsApp chats and all that stuff. So please keep up the good work on that. And thank you. And remember, we're going to do our group session today at, I think it's 3 o'clock. Is that right? 3 o'clock today. Yeah, 3 o'clock today. All right, y'all. Have an awesome. One more thing. I went back and I watched, as crazy as this sounds, I mean, it's almost like watching game film, if you will. I think the athlete analogy is a bit cheesy, but I'm going to go with it anyway. I watched like game film of me yesterday doing my interactions with Liz. So that video is on the YouTube channel, and I like watch it. There's a lot of, I felt like we did a really good job yesterday. And there were some really good ideas that came out of that interaction. And whether you're calling circle prospecting or not, there were some really good pointers that both of us made. And I think that would be really helpful for you guys to rewatch. And I believe that, in my opinion, that that's really helpful. We should do that many, many more times in the future. Okay. Everyone feels similarly?
Yeah.
All right, LaMonda, all I can see was your thumb.
Where is it posted? Sorry.
It's posted on the YouTube channel, and I
Okay.
believe I posted it in the help group yesterday as well.
All right. Okay.
All right. All right. Y'all have an awesome day. Thank you.
You guys too. Have a great day, everyone.
Thanks, Bill.